there, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News. I'm Tracy Shilshi, and in the next 30 minutes you can catch the day's top stories, what to look forward in the day ahead. Let's start with the headlines. Deadline to use all 500 rupee notes to buy fuel at petrol pumps and plane tickets ends from midnight tonight. Union Minister Mansukh Mandavia explains the government's plans to ease the situation at toll plazas. No bilateral meeting between India and Pakistan at the Heart of Asia conference. Foreign Ministry says it has not received any official request for talks from Pakistan. Chief Justice of India T.S. Thakur says the process of appointment of judges cannot be hijacked. Insists that without an independent judiciary, the rights conferred by the Constitution will be meaningless. And West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee confronts the centre, accuses it of creating a situation worse than emergency after army is deployed at 2 toll plazas, allegedly without informing the state government. The deadline to use all 500 rupee notes to buy fuel at petrol pumps and plane tickets ends from midnight tonight. The exemption for payment of toll on highways also ends from tomorrow. Earlier, these facilities and the toll exemption were to continue till the 15th of December. The Finance Ministry also said that the production, dispatch and distribution of currency notes is increasing steadily, and digital transactions have also made an impressive progress. So the ministry clarified that supply of LPG continues to be in the exempted category for the purpose of payment through all 500 rupee banknotes. Our correspondent Vishal Daya, in fact, spoke to Union Minister Mansukh Mandavia on the steps the government is taking to ease the situation at the toll plazas.
After a gap of 3 weeks, the National Highway Authorities of India will start collecting toll again on all the toll gates which are deployed on the NHAI roads. We have with us Minister of State for Highways, Shipping and Transportation, Mr. Mansukh Mandavia. How is it that you're going to implement this decision starting 2nd of December?
सभी टोल बूथ पर 200 से कम रुपीस का जहां टोल हो वहां पर और उससे ज़्यादा टोल हो 200 से ज़्यादा वहां 500 की नोट चलेगी और उसके साथ साथ हमारे कुल 367 कुल टोल बूथ हैं, उसमें से 352 टोल बूथ पर हमने एक स्वाइप फैसिलिटी उपलब्ध करवा दी है। जो रिचार्ज कराना चाहे तो टोल बूथ पर भी हमने व्यवस्था की है और टोल बूथ पर रिचार्ज कराने के लिए 500 रुपीज़ की नोट भी चलेगी। वो बैंक से भी रिचार्ज करवा सकते हैं, जहां भी उसकी सुविधा हो वहां रिचार्ज करके उसका उपयोग हो सकता है। हमने सभी टोल प्लाजा पर टोल प्लाजा के एक ऑफिसर्स और हमारे एनएचआई के एक ऑफिसर दोनों वहां रहेंगे। एनएचआई में भी एक कॉल सेंटर शुरू किया है, सभी स्टेट में भी एक कॉल सेंटर शुरू किया है, जैसे कि अगले दिन में जो 2 तारीख से हम टोल लेना शुरू करें तब किसी को कोई भी प्रकार की असुविधा ना हो, वैसी व्यवस्था हमने की है।
There is a statement which has come in from the TMC and West Bengal Chief Minister that army has been deployed at certain toll plazas. Is that true? Are you deploying, taking help of the army, or and is the state governments, concerned state governments, are kept in loop?
जब से डिमोनेटाइजेशन हुआ है तब से आज तक नेशनल हाईवे पर कोई असुविधा नहीं हुई है। उसकी सुविधा के लिए हमने सब स्टेप लिए थे, आज हम ले रहे हैं और अगले दिन जब हम 2 तारीख को ये टोल प्लाजा पर टैक्स देने के लिए शुरुआत कर रहे हैं तो भी हमने आज सभी टोल प्लाजा पर शायद 10-10 स्वाइप मशीन भी बेच दिया है। इसलिए कोई असुविधा होने की मुझे संभावना नहीं लगती है, लेकिन आवश्यकता है सब जनता हमें सहयोग करे। यातायात की सुविधा के लिए हमने जो व्यवस्था की है उसमें सभी की सहयोग हमें आवश्यक है।
We'll talk to you more about the Mamata Banerjee allegations against the centre in just a bit. Meanwhile, the Income Tax Department yesterday confiscated over 4.7 crore rupees during the searches at a dozen premises in Bengaluru and other locations. The cash was in new denominations of 2,000 rupees and 0.3 crores in old and smaller denominations, totaling 5 crore rupees. The haul that also included 7 kilos of bullion worth 2 crore rupees were recovered from a flat owned by a civil contractor. Officials said that the searches were launched at the premises of 2 engineers working with the state government and some influential people. Income tax officials called it the highest seizure of the new currency after the currency ban on the 8th of November. They said that entry operators and bankers in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu were under scrutiny. Meanwhile, Congress workers staged a protest in eastern Kolkata against the government's demonetization decision yesterday. The protesters, in fact, questioned the government's move, saying that the bumpy execution had hit the common people hard. And the standoff on demonetization persisted on Thursday and discussion could not be resumed despite the Prime Minister's presence in the upper house. Proceedings were stalled as the united opposition demanded an apology from the Prime Minister for allegedly implying that the opposition parties support black money. The government hit out at the opposition for paralyzing the proceedings of the House and maintained that the Prime Minister would intervene if required.
For the 11th consecutive day, the demonetization stalemate rocked the upper house of parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended Rajya Sabha during question hour on Thursday, as it is the day allocated to questions pertaining to the Prime Minister's office. Upping the ante against the Prime Minister, the opposition joined ranks in condemning his statement outside parliament and demanded an apology.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक दो सभाओं में ये बता दिया कि जो विपक्ष जो है, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि विपक्ष जो है ये ब्लैक मनी वालों को सपोर्ट करते हैं। इसके लिए तो क्षमा मांगनी चाहिए। प्लीज कंक्लूड नाउ। कर रहा है। प्लीज कंक्लूड कैसे? प्लीज कंक्लूड। कर सकते हैं।
नोटबंदी के मुद्दे के ऊपर जब ये चर्चा इधर होती है तो प्रधानमंत्री जी इधर हाउस में प्रेजेंट हैं और चर्चा का बैठ जाइए। ऐसा हमारी पार्टी चाहती है।
The statements are being made outside. I am fully supporting what the leader of the opposition has said.
ये जो बहस है वो आपने जो सुझाव दिया तैयार है, लेकिन एक बात और है जो लगातार हम लोग कह रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री जी चारों तरफ और हर तरफ बोल रहे हैं। यहाँ जब बहस हो तो इस बहस में वो बैठे सुने और पूरी तरह से जो जवाब दे सकते हैं।
The government reiterated that the Prime Minister would intervene if required and accused the opposition of running away from the debate.
Prime Minister is very much here, and as and when required, he will also intervene in the debate also. That has been said very clearly. And in spite of this, now their intent is not to allow the debate. What can we do? They are running away from the debate. Mr. Chairman, sir.
The chair tried to broker truce.
A matter of interest to all sections of the House, a debate was conducted. It has remained unfinished. I have consulted the government now. They have no difficulty in continuing with the debate. Can we now, do I have the view of the House that where we left off, we continue?
A war of words ensued between the opposition and Treasury benches. Opposition members trooped into the well demanding the Prime Minister's apology. BJP members also engaged in verbal duels. As the logjam persisted, the chair first adjourned the House for 15 minutes, then till 2 p.m. Even in the post-lunch session, the Prime Minister was present in the upper house. However, opposition members refused to relent, continuing their demand of an apology from the Prime Minister. With little signs of reconciliation, the chair adjourned the House till Friday.
House is adjourned.
With inputs from Vishal Daya and Panchanan Mishra, Kriti Mishra, Rajya Sabha TV.
And yesterday, on the first pay day since the note ban announcement, most banks witnessed a huge rush with people desperate to withdraw their salaries. With many banks running out of cash despite the rationing, the Reserve Bank of India has assured the government that it is ready for higher withdrawals.
Thursday was the first payday post-demonetization and most banks seemed underprepared for the expected massive rush. The heavy rush at most banks left quite a few customers disappointed as there's still a severe shortage of currency notes.
पेंशन निकालनी है भैया मेरे को 11 वाले की ट्रेन ही नहीं आज पहुंच रही वहाँ पे किससे आती मैं यहाँ आई हूँ तो गेट बंद कर रखा है गई गुजर हूँ बड़ी बूढ़ी को क्यों परेशान कर रहे हैं ये हैं इतनी दूर से मैं 10-1.5 घंटे में आई हूँ यहाँ अब मेरे पास पैसा भी नहीं है जिससे मैं पेट में कुछ खा लूँ.
On Thursday morning, banks witnessed double the amount of rush, and in order to handle it, they resorted to rationing of cash.
मैं घर के समस्त कार्य छोड़ करके पहली फुर्सत में सैलरी लेने आया, लेकिन यहाँ पे पैसा बड़ी मुश्किल में निकला। सेंटर पॉइंट में भी गया, वहाँ पे भी अकाउंट से पैसा नहीं निकल पाया। वहाँ पे 2000 के अलावा कोई नोट नहीं। वो यहाँ पर भी मैंने देखा तो एक ही एटीएम चालू है 5-7 एटीएम में। मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि आर्थिक आपातकाल आ गया भारत में।
जो है आदमी, आज पहली तारीख है, सैलरी आई है सबको घर के खर्चे अपने देखने हैं, और तो इसलिए है कि सुबह सुबह शाम तक तो और भी ज्यादा भीड़ बढ़ जाएगी, तो आदमी इसलिए सुबह सुबह लाइन में लग के अपने पैसे निकाल ले।
With increasing anguish over having to spend several hours to withdraw their own money, many mulled whether to take the first day of the month off. Even tourists are spending their days standing in lines instead of sightseeing.
मुझे जाने नहीं दिया जा रहा है, जबकि मेरा ऑफिस के यहाँ पे 5-6 अकाउंट है यहाँ पे डॉलर के रुपीस के, जो है मुझे नहीं जाने दिया जा रहा है। डिप्लोमेट को कितनी दिक्कत हो रही है इसकी। कम से कम गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को ये तो देखना चाहिए, कम से कम जो आपके मेहमान हैं, गेस्ट हैं, डिप्लोमेट है, उनके साथ तो कम से कम रियायत आप दीजिए।
I've been waiting for 2 days to get cash out. I have no cash whatsoever at the moment, so I'm reliant on places that accept card only, which is making travelling around India pretty difficult.
Despite several banks claiming to have made adequate arrangements just to handle payday, many banks rationed cash to just 5,000 rupees per person, while some offered 10,000 to 12,000 rupees per withdrawal.
लोग कतार में तो होंगे क्योंकि आज सैलरी डे है, पहला दिन है, लेकिन हमने बहुत व्यवस्थाएं की। अभी आरबीआई का स्टेटमेंट भी आया था, बैंकों के स्टेटमेंट भी आ रहे हैं कि भाई 100 के नोट भी सफिशिएंट है, 500 के नोट भी बाजार में आ गए हैं, और 2000 के नोट भी मिल रहे हैं एटीएम में। इसलिए कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, घबराने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है। और मैं एक और अपील करना चाहता हूं आपके माध्यम से कि वो डिजिटल पेमेंट की ओर भी बढ़े।
Meanwhile, the government has cut short the deadline of using old 500 rupee notes at petrol pumps and for buying airline tickets at airports to December 2nd from December 15th. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Public Accounts Committee has decided to call the RBI Governor and top finance ministry officials next month to review the economic situation following demonetization. The decision to call RBI Governor Urjit Patel, Finance Secretary Ashok Lavasa and Economic Affairs Secretary Shaktikant Das was taken unanimously by members of the committee. The exact date will be decided depending on the availability of the RBI Governor. According to various estimates, GDP growth is likely to witness a decline due to demonetization, but the range varies from 0.5 to 2%. The economy, remember, grew 7.3% in the second quarter of 2016-17, up from 7.1% in the previous quarter.
We took some important decisions. One decision is the assets of India abroad, especially our embassies. There was a report by the CAG which we examined, and we are going to submit our report to the Parliament next week. We had a discussion after the demonetization. There are certain situations in the country. We are not against unearthing black money. Everybody support that. But this demonetization, withdrawing 1,000 rupee notes and 500 rupee notes has created some problem in the country. So we thought that in the first week or second week of January, we will call the Reserve Bank Governor, Secretary Finance, Secretary Economic Affairs to have an examination or review of the economic situation of the country after this demonetization.
With that, a quick break here. More national news follows in a bit. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate, inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back. Now, opposition parties lashed out at the government on Thursday for allegedly circumventing the upper house of parliament. The accusation came after Lok Sabha passed by a voice vote, a bill to amend the income tax laws. The government, however, rubbished the claims.
Raising the issue during Zero Hour, Naresh Agrawal of the Samajwadi Party alleged that the government is using the money bill ploy to bypass Rajya Sabha. Agrawal's stance was supported by Congress's Jairam Ramesh.
संविधान के अनुच्छेद 110 आर्टिकल 110 ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन
you are 267
हाँ हमने 267 में ये विवाद का मुद्दा रहा है, सदैव से रहा है, लेकिन जब से सरकार आई है इस सदन में बहुमत न होने के कारण निरंतर ये सरकार इस सदन की उपेक्षा करने का प्रयास करती है.
But the issue is the use of the money bill route to deliberately bypass the Rajya Sabha. This happened first in the case of the Aadhaar bill.
However, the government was quick to refute all charges and highlighted constitutional provisions.
All of the highest regard of this house and the other house. But what is supreme is the Constitution of India. And the Constitution of India, Article 110, clearly lays down the mechanism. And it clearly says any bill altering processing of tax is a money bill. Certification comes thereafter by the Speaker in the event of a dispute. This Constitution neither we have framed nor they have framed.
As per the provisions of Article 109 of the Constitution, the Rajya Sabha has limited powers with respect to money bills. A money bill, after having been passed by Lok Sabha, is sent to Rajya Sabha for its recommendations. It has to be returned to Lok Sabha by the upper house within 14 days from the date of its receipt, with or without recommendations. It is up to the Lok Sabha to either accept or reject all or any of the recommendations made by the Rajya Sabha. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Leaders of 16 opposition parties, including 32 MPs from both the Houses of Parliament, took the matter of the Income Tax Amendment Bill to the President. The opposition objected to the manner in which the bill was passed as a money bill in Lok Sabha. They also presented a memorandum that alleged that a brute and authoritarian government was stifling the democratic process. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, who was part of the delegation, alleged that parliamentary procedure was not followed in passing the legislation and the voice of the people was being suppressed blatantly in Parliament as well.
There is a sense in the country that the voice of people is being suppressed. This is being done across the country, and now it has been done in Parliament House blatantly. This is not the way to run parliamentary business.
We thought that parliamentary democratic system or the rules and procedure of business of Parliament are being broadly evaluated. So we made a fervent appeal to the head of the Constitution of the country, Honorable President, to intervene into it and to see that the bills are passed according to the rules and procedure.
जनता की तकलीफ को लेकर हम जो चर्चा करना चाह रहे हैं वो पेंडिंग रख करके सरकार अर्जेंसी और इम्पोर्टेंट बोल करके पास की है, वो सरकार के लिए हो सकता है, लेकिन अध्यक्ष के लिए ये अर्जेंसी इम्पोर्टेंसी कोई कारण नहीं हो सकता नियम को तोड़ने के लिए.
Now, in a late-night drama, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee confronted the centre once again on Thursday, accusing it of creating a situation worse than emergency after the army was deployed at 2 toll plazas in the state without allegedly informing her government. The army was deployed at toll plazas at Palsit and Dankuni on the National Highway 2 on Thursday night, following which the Chief Minister refused to leave her office till the forces were withdrawn. Calling the move unprecedented and serious, Banerjee said that the deployment was causing panic among the people. Later in the night, the army personnel were moved from the toll plaza near Nabana. However, the Chief Minister decided to stay put at the State Secretariat office. The army played down the incident, saying that there was nothing to be alarmed about and was carrying out a routine exercise with full knowledge and coordination with the West Bengal police. The army further clarified that biannual exercise was being conducted throughout the country for statistical purposes.
সেনসিটিভ জোনের মধ্যে এটা আমাদের সেক্রেটারিয়েটের আন্ডারে, মানে আমাদের সেক্রেটারিয়েট সেনসিটিভ জোনের মধ্যে পড়ে ভেরি মাচ. আমার হোম সেক্রেটারি ডিজি এখনও অপেক্ষা করছি, আমার চিফ সেক্রেটারি এতক্ষণ ছিল, একটা কাজে গেছে, কলকাতা পুলিশ কমিশনারও. কেন আমরা জানি না আর্মি এখানে লোকের কাছ থেকে টাকা নিচ্ছে, এটা আমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছি টিভিতে ভিডিওতে.
दिस इज अ एनुअल एक्सरसाइज, ये हर साल एक्सरसाइज कंडक्ट किया जाता है बाय द आर्मी. अभी ये ईस्टर्न कमांड के अंदर चल रहा है, पूरा आर्मी का जो ईस्टर्न कमांड है उसमें चल रहा है. इट्स अ 3-day एक्सरसाइज, यस्टरडे, टुडे एंड टुमारो. एवरी ईयर इट इज कंडक्टेड वंस टू बेसिकली गेट अ स्टैटिस्टिकल डेटा.
Now, amid the intensifying tussle between the government and the judiciary, Chief Justice of India, T.S. Thakur, said that the process of appointment of judges cannot be hijacked. He also made it clear that the judiciary has to be independent and can't depend on the executive in the choices of judges. He emphasized that without an independent judiciary, the rights conferred by the Constitution would be meaningless. The CJI's remarks assumes importance in the wake of mounting tension between the judiciary and executive over the appointment of judges for higher judiciary. Justice Thakur, who will be demitting office of the CJI on the 3rd of January next year, also said that the National Judicial Appointments Commission Act 2014, which was struck down last year by the Supreme Court, was an attempt that would have affected the independence of judiciary.
You should have an independent judiciary. Is that unless you have an independent judiciary, the rights that the Constitution confers upon us will be of no meaning. If you have the law minister and if you have two nominees of the government in the panel that is going to appoint judges, the court saw this as an affront to the concept of independence of judiciary. It struck down.
Now, the government has clarified that no new provision has been introduced to tax jewellery purchased through legal income. A finance ministry statement said that there is no limit on legitimate holding of gold and jewellery, including from inheritance, and there will be no seizure up to a certain limit. The statement said, and I quote, that jewellery and ornaments to the extent of 500 grams for married women, 250 grams for unmarried women and 100 grams for male members will not be seized, even if prima facie it does seem to be matching with the income record of the assessee. The government was clarifying its stand on the amendments in the Income Tax Act moved through the Taxation Law's Second Amendment Bill 2016 that proposes a steep tax of 85% on undisclosed wealth. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has once again hinted at an interest rate cut following the scrapping of high-value currency notes, terming the demonetization move as a game-changer for the Indian economy. Jaitley said that the GDP and tax base will grow significantly due to the government's initiative. Speaking at a Make in Odisha conclave in Bhubaneswar on Thursday, he also said that there was no question of going back on GST as its implementation cannot be delayed beyond September 2017.
अब बैंकों की एकाएक क्षमता आने वाले कल में उसको दोबारा ऋण में देने के लिए ट्रेड को, इंडस्ट्री को, सोशल सेक्टर को, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को वो पैसा देने में एकाएक बढ़ जाती है। ब्याज दर पे भी हो सकता है इसका असर पड़ सकता है, ये तो आरबीआई तय करेगा। तो 16 सितंबर के बाद से राज्यों के लिए टैक्स इकट्ठा करना संवैधानिक कठिनाई होगी। तो इसलिए कोई इसमें रुकावटें पैदा करने का प्रयास करे तो रुकावटें पैदा करने के लिए भी समय की गुंजाइश बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है उनके पास। 1 अप्रैल नहीं तो अंतिम दिन 16 सितंबर 2017 है।
In more news, India and Pakistan will not hold any bilateral meeting on the sidelines of the Heart of Asia conference in Amritsar that starts tomorrow. The Foreign Ministry said that it had not received any official requests for talks from Pakistan. Pakistani Prime Minister's advisor on foreign affairs, Sartaj Aziz, will lead his country's delegation to the two-day conference that focuses on regional cooperation between Afghanistan and its neighbours. India and Pakistan had agreed to start a comprehensive bilateral dialogue at last year's Heart of Asia conference, but the dialogue could not take place due to the Pathankot attack. The latest conference comes as a backdrop of Tuesday's attack in Nagrota, in which 7 Indian soldiers were killed.
We have not received any request from Pakistan for a bilateral meeting. India has always been open to talks, but obviously it cannot be that talks take place in an atmosphere of continued terrorism. India will never accept continued terrorism as the new normal of the bilateral relationship.
Meanwhile, the nation on Thursday bid adieu to the soldiers who laid down their lives in the terror attack on Nagrota Army Camp on Tuesday. A large number of people gathered at the residence of Major Akshay Girish Kumar to pay their last respects. Similar scenes were played out in Pandharpur city of Maharashtra state as well, where hundreds gathered to bid a final adieu to Major Gosavi Kunal Manadir. In fact, last rites of 5 other soldiers, including Nayak Kadam Sambhaji Yeshwant, Rifleman Asim Rai, Raghavendra Singh and Havaldar Sukhraj Singh were also performed with full state honours at their native places. Earlier on Wednesday, the bodies of the 2 army officers and 5 soldiers were flown to their respective homes and their last rites were performed on Thursday. Turning focus to more national news, and dense fog blinded New Delhi for the 2nd day in a row, disrupting flight and train operations. Flight operations at the Indira Gandhi International Airport were affected with a sharp drop in runway visibility due to dense fog in the morning, delaying more than 100 flights. 16 flights were cancelled for other reasons. The fog also disrupted train services. Around 70 northbound trains, including Rajdhani services, were delayed, while around 30 others were rescheduled due to fog on Thursday. A Northern Railways official said that Rajdhani trains from Kolkata, Sialdah, Bhubaneswar and Patna are 3 to 5 hours late. Departure of around 30 trains were scheduled also due to bad weather. According to the India Met Department, the fog is expected to last for 6 more days.
मैं पंजाब से आ रहा हूँ और सिडनी को जा रहा हूँ, तो ये मेरी फ्लाइट बैंकॉक की है और रास्ते में बहुत ज़्यादा धूल थी, फॉग थी, जिससे बहुत दिक्कत हुई है। सो ये तो कुदरती है और यहाँ से एक्सीडेंट के चांस बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं सड़क पे, तो भगवान की कृपा से तो फ्लाइट तो टाइम पे है। अब अंदर जाके देखते हैं क्या होता है।
ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੇ ਬਾਹਰਲੇ ਇਲਾਕੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੈ, ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਘੱਟ ਰਿਹਾ। ਹੁਣ ਐਸੇ ਵੇਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਧੁੰਦ ਵੈਸੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਆ। ਕੀ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ? ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲ ਇਹ ਆ ਕਿ ਗੱਡੀ ਚਲਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਥੋੜੀ ਦਿੱਕਤ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। ਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ, ਨਜ਼ਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਅਗਲੇ ਪਾਸੇ।
Meanwhile, in a relief, cyclonic storm Nada today weakened into a deep depression is likely to cross the Tamil Nadu coast even as rains lashed several parts of the state. Director of Area Cyclone Warning Centre S. Balachandran has said that the deep depression is likely to cross coast between Kadalur and Vedaranyam. The cyclone, currently about 350 kilometers away from Chennai, is likely to cause moderate to heavy rainfall and other coastal areas of the province along with Puducherry. The authorities are monitoring the situation in the state. Multiple teams of National Disaster Response Force and the State Disaster Response Force have been put on standby by various parts of Tamil Nadu.
Due to the high vertical wind shear between the upper layers of the atmosphere and the cyclone, lower layers of the cyclone, it is expected to weaken into deep depression during next to 12 hours and move in west-northwestward direction and cross between Vedaranyam and Kadalur by early hours of 2nd December.
ஒரு புயல நானா புயல் ஒரு புயல அறிவிச்சு இன்னைக்கு அவங்களும் தொழிலுக்கு போக முடியாத நிலைமை ஏற்பட்டிருக்கு. தினசரி எங்களுக்கு புலப்பு இல்லாமல் செத்துக்கிட்டு இருக்கிற இந்த காலகட்டத்தில் இது ஒரு இடையூறு. இதுக்கெல்லாம் அரசாங்கம் லட்சக்கணக்கான மீனவர்கள் பசியும் பட்டினியுமா கிடக்காங்க, தொழில் இல்லாமல் இருக்காங்க. இதை கருத்தில் கொண்டு அவங்களுக்கு ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஒரு 2 கிலோ அரிசியாச்சும் கொடுத்து அவங்கள.
And finally, let's take you through what will be making news in the day ahead. The GST Council will meet today on the issue of jurisdiction over assessees and draft model laws to implement the new GST regime from April next year. The Council will finalize the model GST law, integrated GST law and compensation law. The GST Council is also likely to take up the vexed issue of cross-empowerment of states and the centre to avoid dual control. A special court will hear arguments by the CBI in the 2G spectrum allocation scam case in which former telecom minister A. Raja, DMK MP Kanimori and 15 others are facing trial. All the accused have denied allegations levelled against them by the CBI. In its charge sheet, the CBI had alleged a loss of 30,984 crores. Now, after closing ranks to stave off split in votes, the Samajwadi Party has planned a strategy session in Lucknow today to project a united face ahead of the UP Assembly polls next year. With an internal war sullying the image of the party barely a few months before the elections, Party Chief Mulayam Singh Yadav has cautioned senior party leaders against any split in the votes. That's all we have for you on the Breakfast News. Have a good day.